What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kev on Stage, and it's time for Dear Kev on Stage. It's the weekend, and that's what we do here on the freaking weekend. Today's question says this. Dear Kev on Stage, I have a question. Well, for starters, I was watching your video on husband wants too much sex. Well, let me tell you a little about us. I'm 31 and he is 46, and he has a major sex drive, and he is too huge, Lamau. We have sex 2 or 3 times a day, and most of the time I'm just giving in out of love and keeping him happy. But there are times I just want to break from sex, LOL. But when I tell him no, he gets upset and starts thinking I don't want to be sexual with him. Not the case at all. The thing is, we have sex so dang much to where it gets where I feel raw inside and start to hurt now. Is there anything you can tell me to where I can keep giving it into him even when I'm hurting? Like, is there a better way for sex where I don't feel the pain? Or should I just keep telling him no until I feel better? Any advice will be appreciated. Well, listen. 2 or 3 times a day, God bless your precious soul. I got kids' homework to do and dinner to make. I don't think I could fit 2 or 3 times a day if I wanted to. Now, I love it. I'd be happy about it. But 2 or 3 times a day with my schedule, I would relish it. But hey, he is winning right now, except that he's losing you. Here's the thing about sex that most married couples have a problem with. They don't really know how to talk about it and when to talk about it. Most of the time they want to talk about it and they don't until the sex happens and it's the repeat offense of what has always happened, and then they have a problem. My advice in these situations is we communicate about everything else. Money, dinner, clothing, movies, all that. When it gets to sex, we clam up. And if you don't say nothing 2 or 3 times a day, he gonna come and knock it. Hey, we only got 2 in. You know it's time for round 3 now. Get on over here and give me what I want. But you can't just be beating it to death now. You got to be ginger with it, gentle. Talk to it, sweetly to it. Make it a warm cup of milk or something. You can't just be banging away at it all day. So that'll be my first piece of advice. Have a conversation with him that's not in the sexual moment. Not when he's climbing on top of you, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, go out for lunch, treat him and say, hey, babe, this has been on my mind. It's much more difficult to get mad at it when you're not right about to do it. If you do it right before sex, more than likely it's going to cause an argument. And say, hey, listen, before I tell you this, I don't want you to think I'm being too sexual. I don't want you to, be upset with me, but here's how I feel about this. You're tearing me up. Tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But most men who really love their women won't want sex to be unpleasant for her. They definitely don't want to damage the vag or anything like that. So most men will say, okay, what can I do? There's other ways to do it. I can't point it out to you, but there's 3 50 Shades of Grey books. Check them mugs out at your local library or buy them from Barnes & Noble, far away from your house. Get some ideas. But there's other ways to do it. I'm sure there's ways that he'll be pleased. And you'll be pleased because one of you shouldn't be hurting. So that would be my advice. Let him know in a time that's not about sex, because it's supposed to be for both of you. You shouldn't be just giving in. Although a lot of women just say, oh, go ahead and do what you got to do so I go back to sleep. Women do that from time to time. Men too, but it shouldn't be every time, shouldn't be all the time. All right, it's your boy Kev on Stage. You have questions, send it to me, dear Kev or just KevOnStage@gmail.com. And thank you for tuning in.